Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our yoga class today. Such a joy to have you here. So let's start again, sitting up nice and tall, wriggling the buttocks flesh away, feeling the earth beneath you. And as you send roots down, inhale and stretch up tall. Circle the shoulders and relax them down and back, and lengthen the back of your neck. Close your eyes if you like. Feel the space that your body is occupying. Notice the movement of your breath. And I'd like to set an intention by reading something I got in the mail this morning. It's all too easy to slip into a pose as just something our body does. Of course, sometimes I get it, that's all you feel like doing. Yet in times like these, how heartening to remember the richness and possibility of asana as a complete path in its own right. We hold our attention inside, using energy, sensation, inquiry, shift, and possibility in asana as the object of our contemplation and focus. Giving yourself fully, body, breath, mind, and soul to asana is an option that's there for us. It's a pretty awesome invitation, don't you think? So contemplating that invitation for 3 more breaths. And we'll come into some Om circles. So we're going to inhale the arms up overhead. I'll demo the first one. And then we're going to bring the hands down, chanting the syllables of Om. So the syllables of Om are Ah, O, So we'll do it 4 times. First time we'll do the Ah, then the U, then the and then the last time we'll do Om all together. So sitting up nice and tall, bringing the shoulder blades behind you, inhaling up. Deep breath in, exhaling. This time, inhaling. This time. And this time putting it all together. Going within, inquiry, contemplation, noticing the effect on your body. And continuing with that same openness, let's just begin to move the head and neck, curious about what we'll find in this morning's practice. And let's roll the ear to one side and reach the opposite arm away, shoulder down. Come on back up and roll the ear the other way and reach the arm out, shoulder down. And inhale back up. Let's bring the chin forward one more time, breathing into the back of the neck. Just curious about what you'll find. Feel your shoulders reaching down away from your ears. And then inhale, lift up towards the ceiling. Coming back to center, feeling that lovely length in your neck, giving you freedom to look around, just soft gaze. Just curious about what's happening in your body. And coming back to center. Looking around the other way. Coming back to center, practicing with openness as to what you'll discover this morning. Let's inhale and squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. Let's press them back. Bring them to the bottom of that circle. Roll them forward. Squeeze them up. Press them back. Bring them down. Roll them forward. One more. Just noticing your range of motion today. And let's go the other way. Let's squeeze them back. Inhale up. Press them forward and down. Curious about what you're feeling, what your body's capable of this morning, about your energy level, and how that affects your practice. And down. Going deep inside to experience the after effect of that. And let's reach out, big open arms, squeeze the shoulder blades. Reach out through your fingers, expanding from your heart. Let's bring the arms in and give yourself a hug. And let's open back the other way. Shoulders down, shoulder blades flat on your back. Energize your arms and give yourself a hug the other way. Let's release the hands. Bring one arm up overhead and give yourself a pat on the back. And then you can either press this arm back or pull it back. Just exploring what's there for you. And let's come down. Inhale the other arm up. Give yourself a pat on the back and either press the arm back or pull the elbow back. Perhaps you notice a deepening of your breath here. And down. Let's come into a nice, easy spinal twist with just a little bit of swaying this morning. Just noticing how your body feels. Curious about what it wants to do as it sways. And this time, let's bring one hand to the thigh, the other hand to the floor. Stretch up tall. Let your head just stay with your heart, same direction as your heart first. Just soft gaze here, and then slowly begin to turn your head. Keep your spine nice and tall as you unwind. Notice the after effect. And let's switch legs. Bring one hand behind you, one hand to your thigh, keeping your head in line with your heart at first, just spinning your torso, and then rotating your head. And slowly come back to center. Experience the breath. Let's stretch out the legs, sort of nice and tall. And bring the hands to the floor and back, and we'll squeeze the shoulder blades and lift the heart. Coming into an easy back bend. Feel the top of your thighs rooting down into the floor. Be curious about how that affects the energy in the pose. Come back to center, and we'll stretch over the legs. Take your time. Let the head be heavy. Just feel your body softly opening. Just curious about where your edge is today. Let the next breath lift you back up. Bring one hand to our side, the other hand up overhead. We'll come into an easy side stretch. Let the next breath carry you up. Reaching up through the side ribs, rooting down through the top of the thighs. We'll reach over the other way. Inhale back up, down. Let's bring one leg in, heel against the thigh, other toes pointed up. And we'll turn towards our bent knee and press out. And then perhaps bring your hand to your thigh and twist around. Practicing with curiosity, Noticing what the body feels today. Feeling how the breath is moving through you. And we'll slowly come back to center. And we'll change sides. Bring the other heel in. Walk yourself towards that bent knee. Perhaps bringing your hand to your thigh and walking yourself around further. Grounding through that top thigh. And slowly coming back to center. And stretching that leg out. Let's do a second set and notice if there's a difference. Opening the front of the body, rounding through the thigh bones, and reaching out through the heels. Inhale up, let's reach forward and surrender over the legs. And maybe you can't reach your toes, and that's okay. With the next breath, lift you back up. And we'll bring one leg in, ground through the top of the thigh, turn towards that knee. So again, we're doing that practice where the head is in line with the body first, and then perhaps twisting and looking over your shoulder. Inhale back to center. Stretch that leg out and bring the other heel in. Turn towards that bent knee. Whole body facing that way, and then bring your hand behind you. Hand to your thigh. Rotating your body a little more. Letting your head go all the way. Grounding through that thigh bone. And slowly coming back to center. Just with curiosity, noticing the after effect of what we just did. Let's keep those legs active, pressing down. Notice how that engages your legs and energizes your pose. And let's come over onto our hands and knees. And we'll go right into a sunbird. Let's just bring the nose and the knee together. And stretch that leg out behind you, lifting your head and chest. Practicing with curiosity and awareness. Where does my body want to go today? How far do I feel like pushing myself or How gently do I feel like nourishing myself? What's the quality of practice I would like to experience today? Do one more. Bring that leg out behind you. And if you like, the opposite arm comes alongside your ear. If you'd like, bending your leg and grabbing your foot. Turning away from your bent knee. And back to center and wag your tail. And just notice how the breath changes. Notice any tendency to hold the breath. See if you can keep the breath nice and slow. Awareness of how the breath is affected as the postures become more challenging. Let's send the other leg out and bring it in. Last one. And find your perfect balancing pose today. Perhaps just the leg is up, or perhaps the opposite arm comes alongside your ear. You may want to bend your leg and lift your thigh, or reach around and grab your foot, spinning your body away from your bent knee. Curious about how the breath changes as the poses become more challenging. Using that awareness to help you keep your breath slow and steady. And let's release and press back into child. Maybe it feels good to rock a little bit. Just exploring your body and what it needs today. When you're ready, let's press into the right hand and lift the elbow off the floor. Bring the left arm in, forearm on the floor. We're going to come into a half puppy dog and lift the hips, sliding everything forward till the hips are right over the knees. And then bringing the forehead or chin to your forearm. Big, strong press into the hand that's in the floor. Curiosity about how your body feels in this pose. Notice the effect on your breathing. You might find that puppy dog inspires a slow, deep breath, and enjoy that. And with a little more pressure into your hand, pulling your inner groins back, feel a little bit more stretch, explore that. And walk yourself back into child or egg. Again, if your body feels like it wants a little shifting from side to side, being curious about how you can take care of yourself today. And let's bring the left arm out. The right arm is folded in front of you, palm down. Lift the hips and slide everything forward until the hips are over the knees, elbow is under the shoulder. We're pressing into the left hand, elbow lifted, and dropping the forehead or chin to our other arm. Allow your chest to reach towards the floor. Press into your palm, elongating your side body and pulling your inner groins back just a little bit, exploring that extended action. And release yourself back into child or egg. You can stay right here or come up into a squat. If you're going to do a squat, you may choose to keep your hands on the floor or bring them into prayer position. Whichever pose you've chosen, you might choose to close your eyes. Notice how your body feels in this shape. And then we'll slowly transition into a forward fold, finding your perfect forward fold today. And you may choose to have your legs bent or straight, perhaps shifting your weight, exploring how the feet feel against your mat. And with that curiosity about the feet against the mat, begin to press down into the floor and curl your body up using the strength of your legs. To come into Tadasana. And finding some curiosity here, you may choose to shift your weight to one side. Shift your weight the other way. Shift forward. Ooh. How far can you go without falling? And shift backward. And then finding that perfect spot where the weight is balanced evenly. Exploring the energy of pressing down, engaging your thighs. Exploring how, as you reach down through the legs, the body has freedom to rise up. And let's let that freedom translate to a big breath, reaching all the way into tall mountain. Let's bring the hands together in steeple position if that works for your body. One more breath, reach down through the feet, up through the center of your body, and exhale to one side. You might explore just a little bit, rolling your shoulder forward and back. Notice where the muscles move and stretch, where they contract, how the breath is affected, and then coming back to your pose in stillness. How does it feel after moving in it? Perhaps finding a little more length. And let's inhale tall. And come on down before we do the other side. And let's inhale up. Bring the hands together if that works for your body. Taking another deep breath and getting tall and skinny. We'll tip over to one side. And then a little curiosity, rolling that shoulder forward. Just a little bit, rolling it back. It's playing. Exploring. And then coming back to your pose. And perhaps lengthening a little more after that exploration. And let's inhale tall. One more deep breath, stretch up and exhale down. Step out to a nice wide-legged pose. Taking a moment to, again, rock a little bit forward and back, exploring the feel of your feet on your mat. And then maybe shifting the weight a little bit from side to side, maybe doing some hip circles. Notice the weight shifting as the hips move. And perhaps going in the opposite direction. What size circles would your body like to make today? And let's come back to stillness. Come into our 5-pointed star. And let's switch, turning towards the short end of our mat, realigning our hips. And we're going to come into a warrior one here, inhaling the arms up. Maybe you like to do goddess arms, or arms up overhead, or steeple. So explore the variation that works for you today. Bring your awareness down to your back leg, pressing that back heel into the earth and spinning your hip forward. Feel that stretch in the front of that leg. Front knee right over the heel. Pull that hip back. And choosing the arms that your body would like today. And let's all come into goddess arms. And take a deep breath and begin to press into that back heel and come forward onto a diagonal. A little more challenging variation if you'd like to take it. Just notice where the body needs to hold to support this pose. If it works for you, bring the hands behind you in Yoga Mudra, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And one more time, let's bring the arms back out, shifting our weight forward. And perhaps coming onto a straight leg. Maybe you feel ready to lift that back leg up and come into a balancing T pose. Let's bring that foot back down. Come back to our 5-pointed star. Release and toe heel back to Tadasana. And come back to Tadasana. It's a great opportunity to reconnect with your form. Be curious about how you've come out of your perfect blueprint, your energetic blueprint, and to realign your body. And let's step out to 5-pointed star on this side. And we'll turn our body the other way, front toes 90 degrees, back heel at an angle. Pressing back into that back heel and bending the front knee right over the front heel. Bring the arms into whatever variation works for you, goddess or straight or steeple. Bringing your awareness into your back heel and feeling that stretch, grounding through the heel. Bringing your awareness to the front foot, balancing evenly on all 4 corners. Bring your awareness to your front hip and pull that hip back. If it feels okay, you can be in steeple up overhead. But let's all choose goddess pose now. And then if you like, pressing into that back heel, coming to a nice diagonal. A little more challenging variation here. Notice the shift in the weight, How the front leg is taking more of your weight. If you like, bringing your hands behind you, squeezing the arms and shoulders. Notice how that encourages you to also engage your legs more. If you like, reaching your arms out, shifting your weight forward. Perhaps straightening your front leg and coming over into balancing T-pose. Bending that front leg, coming back onto the earth, coming back to our 5-pointed star, and toe heel, back to Tadasana. If the body wants to move, if you need a little shaking out or stretching in any way, you can play with that. Before coming back into stillness. And step out one more time. Big wide step, feet parallel. Swirl those shoulders forward, back and down. Bring the hands behind you in Yoga Mudra, lifting the heart, grounding through the 4 corners of the feet. You can either slide your hands down your legs or keep your arms in Yoga Mudra reaching forward. Maybe you need a soft bend in your knees, or maybe you can keep your legs straight. And let the next breath slowly pull you back up. And use the strength of your legs, press down into the earth to come back up. And release the hands. And notice how they just want to float up. Until we go back to center. And we'll end with a nice counter stretch and balance, coming into stork pose. Shifting your weight. Bringing that leg up with the foot flexed. If you can, giving that leg a squeeze. And down. Shifting your weight. And again, if the body would like a little bit of a wriggling out in whatever way feels good to you. And when you're ready, coming down onto the floor, onto your belly. And we'll take a few breaths here. We'll do a variation of our cobra pose today. So let's come into our Sphinx pose with our legs wide and our arms wide. Shoulder blades down your back. And if you need to keep your elbows on the floor, please do that. So exploring yourself, what it feels like. You want to be down or up. And let's slowly come back down and back into crocodile pose. And we'll do another variation today. Let's bring the hands out on either side of us. And we'll come into a nice lifted position here with the elbows coming out straight from your shoulders on your fingertips. And you can always just do a regular Sphinx or Cobra. And just notice how it feels. Curious about doing poses in a different way. And we'll slowly come back down and back into crocodile pose. Let's roll over and give yourself a hug. And you can play with what your body wants to do here, maybe rocking or circling. If you're circling, maybe you'd like to balance it by circling back the other way. Let's bring our feet to the floor. Our arms down at our sides. And let's explore our bridge pose today by moving slowly through it, bringing the belly to the spine and tipping the pelvis up. Just exploring how that engages the legs and then releasing. Inhale, exhale, press the belly back and tip the pelvis up. Feel the legs pulling together energetically. And release. And one more time, just exploring Deep breath in, exhale, press the belly back and tip the pelvis up. Feel those legs and thighs engage. And when you're ready, begin to lift those hips. You might choose to go very slowly and really explore the weight shifting. Explore the feeling of your feet pressing into the earth. The curve of the spine lifting towards the heavens. If you like, the arms wriggling underneath you. And the awareness inside, noticing how the breath is affected by this asana. Noticing how when you shift your awareness to your legs, perhaps your hips lift higher. And with each shift of your hips, perhaps there's a shift in how you hold your head. And let's release, taking all the time we need to explore the spine, slowly returning to the floor. And when you're ready, giving yourself another hug. Coming into your favorite inversion. What can you become aware of here? The feel of your back supported by the earth. The warmth or coolness of the air on your hands and feet. Perhaps there's some slight trembling in your body. Maybe a deepening of the breath. Maybe you notice more spaciousness in the mind. When you've had enough, bring your legs back in. One more hug. And reach your arms out. Roll to one side, stacking one knee on top of the other. And turn your head away from your knees. If you prefer to grab your big toes with your nearest hand, you can do that. Notice the breath in your side body. Observe any places where the body needs to hold on. And be curious about where and how you can let go more. And let's bring those legs in. And come back to center, give yourself a hug. And lower your knees the other way. Stacking one knee on top of the other. If you like, grabbing your big toes with your nearest hand. And one more aspect of curiosity is to notice your attitude as you practice. So how does it feel to do absolutely nothing? To let your floor and the breath do the work.
I'm unmuted now. Thank you. Any luck on your work, Ron?
We can use our asana practice as an opportunity to pay attention to our state of mind and then take that information with us into the world, reducing our reactivity. And one more time, bring the legs back in. Give yourself a hug. And come into Shavasana.
So when do you go back to Arizona? Oh, really? And you stay for how long? Do you have the title with the parish?
And stay here as long as you like. And when you're ready, slowly roll to one side and make your way to a seated position. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for showing up in class. Namaste.